My name is R. Crosby Lyles, and this is News from the Can. I do a lot of screwing around on this particular channel. This channel is the News from the Can channel. It's like my creative outlet where I throw my half-ass ideas and stuff like that, or experimental kind of stuff, or social commentary, political stuff. So it's a sort of a hodgepodge. But what I want to mention here is that one of the discoveries that I've made, I've been sort of studying the YouTube thing and trying to figure out what works and what doesn't, and why some people do well and some people don't. And what they will tell you, if you ever get into making videos and things like that, what you will see from the YouTube team, the YouTube staff, is they will talk about creating value for your viewers. So what you're bringing is value. Because there's all kinds of stuff you can do to screw around. There's all kinds of clickbaity kind of crap, and there's ways that you can jerk people off on YouTube to get views. And there's some channels that they can jerk people off for a really long time. There's some people that specialize in like UFO videos and stuff like that, and they're just really able to do that thumbnail clickbait thing extremely well. And bury the lead, and I would fall for it and watch a video for a really long time, and it would just be completely vapid. There would be nothing in it, no real value there. And YouTube has been around long enough, 14 years, something like that, since 2004, that the novelty has sort of worn off for a lot of people. So, and this is something that I've been thinking about for a long time, is that, what is it essentially? What is the essential YouTube thing? There's things that only video can really do, that video is keenly capable of doing. And then there's the historical aspect, where I can watch a Yes concert from 1973, and you can pull up virtually anything on YouTube, historically wise, and look at it.
Historical context.
It all distills down to, I have it written above my desk here, value. What do I have of value? That comes down to, what is it that you do? That's the question. What do you do? When they talk about writers, people who are aspiring authors and things like that, they will tell you, write what you know. Write what you know. And that's what I try to do. I try to write about what I know, which is life experience and science and engineering and things like that. So, spent some time in prison, and that's a formative experience. And I haven't really gotten into that very much. But the reason I have Joe Rogan, this particular video pictured here, I found my way to this by somebody else's clickbait, and then I watched their video, and they re-edited this video. This video here is like 3 hours. So this is a Joe Rogan Experience podcast, installment 812, with Russell Brand and Jim Breuer. The damn thing is 3 hours long. So I went to this to sort of verify the re-edit that I saw. The re-edit made it look really harsh. And I don't know, I guess it's a joke or whatever it is. I'm not really sure. But this is from way back in 2016. And I'm watching this. And you see I'm 35 minutes into it, and I'm having to tear myself away from it. I could sit here and watch the whole thing, the whole 3 hours, and I probably will in installments over time. I've got other stuff to do. I have to tear myself away. I could put, I guess I could, load it up and listen to it while I was doing something else, although it's difficult for me to do that. But when I'm talking about value, that's the word that I have. That's it. Value. Because why am I going to sit down, and what really pisses me off, when I sit down and I watch something, I get clickbaited into watching something that's fucking worthless. That's wasting my time, because my time is valuable. Your time is valuable. And that's what YouTube boils down to. That's what the whole, media thing boils down to. Value. And the people who have longevity, who make money, who get views, who have millions of, have a lot of subscribers and get a lot of views and stuff like that, they are able to bring value. They are able to produce value. and bring it to you. And that's the thing, and this is digging deep and really doing a personal inventory about this and thinking about it. Bringing value is not necessarily that easy to do, and it really requires a certain amount of soul searching and thinking about, okay, how is this going to be valuable to somebody else? How am I going to bring the maximum amount of value to somebody else? And this is something that Joe Rogan didn't become, I think he's like the top podcaster in the world or some shit like that. Like, he's number one. And I thought, well, it makes sense because he's a nice guy and he talks about a lot of really interesting shit, but he brings an ass pile of value. And these guys are talking about, and I'm putting the link for this video right here in the description, so you can just go over and watch it. He's talking to Russell Brand, and it's just loaded with interesting stuff. It's enormously valuable, and most of the stuff that I ever see Joe Rogan talking about, I usually watch the whole video, because whatever he's talking about is just the most interesting, fascinating, valuable use of my time. It doesn't really matter who he's talking to, but he's got a knack. He's got an ability to produce interesting, valuable content. And he's just really being himself. What a gift, what an amazing, inspiring, awesome gift to have. I hope he can keep that. I think it has something to do with, a lot of it has to do with where he's coming from. He's a skilled fighter, but at the same time, he's peaceful. And he's a nice guy. He's a good dude, you can tell. And he's a great human being and everything. But he's smart too, and he reads a lot of philosophy and I've seen his comedy work, and he's a great comedian. It's really fascinating. But I just wanted to say that and just mention this video here because I'm having trouble tearing myself away from it. It's just that good. And the stuff that they get into, I'd have to go back to the 70s, being a little kid and hanging out with my brother's friends that were 5, 6, 7 years older than me, 10 years older than me, all sitting around smoking dope, talking about the world and shit, and talking about philosophy and things like that. To really, that's what this sort of harkens back to. These guys are really having these discussions that are deep and meaningful, and this is what we need. This is exactly what kids today need. They need some guidance. School has turned into this, everything from high school on, or even maybe junior high school on, is all this vocational obedience training type of shit, and they don't tell you, you don't learn about your humanity. You don't really get a chance to think about your place in the world and stuff like that, really important shit like that. And so that's what these guys talk about, and it fills that void. And I think that's why Joe Rogan is where he is. He fills that void. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of channels out there that basically do nothing but rehash clips from Joe Rogan. I see it everywhere. So I'm trying to source the right, and I believe this is the right. It's got to be 2.8 million subscribers. This has got to be, I'm pretty sure this is Joe Rogan right here. This is his channel, or his publicist, or whatever, however the hell I do that, But yeah, wow. If you never watched Joe Rogan, or you watch Joe Rogan or whatever, a lot of people have different, so if you got a bug up your ass about Russell Brand, whatever, I don't care, but it just so happens that this is, it's everything that I've seen, everything that, I've been watching Joe, like binge watching Joe Rogan for days now. Because I see different, one interesting thing after another. And it makes me wonder how this is going to, having been on the planet for a little while, it makes me wonder how this is going to develop. So, but anyway, that's all I really wanted to say. And if you're an aspiring if you've never made videos and put them up on YouTube, you know, there's plenty of space. There's plenty of digital space on YouTube for you to put your stuff up. And if you really want to do an exploration and figure out what you're about, or you really want to sort of test the limits of your capabilities, try making a video. Put up some video and think about, you know, what you do, and because it's an exploration of what it's an inventory. It's helpful in getting a good picture of, you know, what we really have going on as individuals. So anyway, that's all I got to say. My name is R. Crosby Lyles. This is News from the Can. Thanks for watching. See you.